What's going on, guys? TieFly85 here again.
And I'm T-Rec87, and welcome to another episode of the MGK podcast. We got a lot of topics we want to talk about today, so let's go ahead and just get started. First up was an article. We just found this just a little bit ago. We were talking on the phone, and I was like browsing on my phone, and I saw this, and it looks like there's a bunch of new Star Trek shows in the works. What do you think about this, TieFly?
I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's about time. I never really got into Star Trek Discovery, which I know is kind of blasphemous for somebody who says they love Star Trek, but I just never really got into it. So I would love to see them bring back a Next Generation sequel.
And yeah, so that's I mean, basically kind of what this article is going over. Is that it looks like there's a $25 million deal with CBS, part of a 5-year plan to bring more Star Trek to TV, blah, blah, blah. And basically, this is in the wake of Discovery's success. A lot of people have had issues with Discovery, just with the fact that it doesn't feel like a regular Star Trek show, but it's actually really, really good. But in the rumors of this report, like the biggest thing, and this is why we're seeing this picture of Jean-Luc Picard up at the top here, old Patrick Stewart, is that there's talks of actually possibly bringing him back for a new series, and I don't know. I guess it would be a sequel to Next Generation, and I wonder if this would be something in with this first one here that you see, where it says that there's a teen-oriented series set at Starfleet Academy from Stephanie Savage and Josh Schwartz, the duo behind the recent Dynasty reboot and Marvel's Runaways adaptation. I wonder if it's something like that, to where maybe Jean-Luc Picard is like an instructor at Starfleet Academy, kind of does like the old Professor X, style type thing, where he's a teacher or a professor or whatever. What do you think, TieFly? I mean, I don't know. What role could they bring him back in as? I mean,
if we're looking specifically at the teen-oriented series, are we saying just what could they bring him back as in general? Is that what you're saying, kind of thing?
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
I don't think that they would use anything as far as the X-Men-esque type, Professor Xavier type thing.
Well, I'm not saying he's going to be in a wheelchair.
I would say, yeah. I would say overall, though, for the biggest thing would probably be, that they're either going to have him be the captain, and then he hands it over to somebody, or maybe he's the head of Star Command now. And so every time we see him is when the ship reports in.
Yeah, I mean, so you don't think he'll be like a central role, is kind of what you're saying?
I mean, unless they're really trying to make a big push, and that's the biggest thing they're going to use. Kind of like similar to how Star Wars used, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford to push their movies.
Sure.
So, I mean, if they're trying to pull something like that, but if it doesn't work out, then it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
But if they end up making it work out, then it's probably going to be amazing.
I mean, the other ones on here that it says a limited series with a confidential plot, a limited series based around the beloved character Khan from the original Star Trek, classic film Wrath of Khan. That's been something apparently that's been rumored for quite a while, and an animated series with another currently confidential plot. I don't know. I think the most likely is that he's going to come back and he's going to be like a teacher at Starfleet.
That would be kind of cool. I could see that if they're going with the teen-oriented series.
I mean, he's like 85, 90 years old. Like he's too old to be a captain, in my opinion.
Ooh, okay, think of this as that teen-oriented, right? He's the teacher, and as he's going through all the Starfleet commands and teaching this class on how to become starship leaders and stuff like that. If he goes through old past episodes of, you know what I mean? They do flashbacks.
Where they like tie it back into Next Generation,
yeah, tie it back into Next Generation. Like, that'd be kind of cool.
That could be pretty neat. I would totally be down to watch that. But I mean, basically anything that brings back Jean-Luc Picard, in my opinion, is going to be huge for Star Trek. I mean, Discovery's it's been wildly successful for that first season they had, but they've had so many problems. They just had, like, what was it, like 2 of their producers left the series?
Yeah, 2 of the producers, and they brought in 2 new ones, which is who Alex, the new head runner for Discovery, is. But apparently they had a little bit of behind-the-scenes controversy where a couple of the producers were yelling at the writers, and there was a lot of HR complaints.
Right.
And also money. It's usually always about money, but let's add a few other things in there. But I guess apparently the episodes were just costing way too much.
Oh,
So
dude, yeah. I mean, if I know you haven't seen Discovery, but like the episodes, like every episode was like a movie, dude. Like it was like all the effects and everything were so good, and it was like it was amazing to see that on just like a TV show, you know. And so I can totally see that where like it was wildly successful, but they're like, wow, we blew like like $300 million on this season, or I don't know how much the budget was, but I can totally see that they just blew all sorts of money on it. And
that's like that. Did you ever see that Steven Spielberg direct to? It was kind of like a TV series, but it was about dinosaurs.
no.
Darn, I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about, but it's kind of like that. Every single episode, no joke, this is the reason why they only did one season of the show, was because every episode cost over $1 million.
Oh my god.
Because it was, I mean, Steven Spielberg wanted to get it right, and it was perfect, and it was amazing, and I'm so sad that they canceled that show.
It was one season?
Yeah, it was one season.
Yeah, I bet. After they got
amazing.
the bill, they were like, oh my god, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm personally super excited for a Next Generation sequel, or any sort of new Star Trek. I mean, any new Star Trek, in my opinion, is a good. What else did we find on here? Did you want to talk about Incredibles 2?
Yeah, so for a lot of you, I did recently just go see Incredibles 2, so if anybody want to see my review, definitely go check that out. But some biggest news from Incredibles 2 is they have smashed the box office. Like, oh my goodness, for their opening weekend. So the highest grossing Pixar movie before Incredibles 2 was Finding Dory with $135 million. Like, that's huge for an opening weekend.
Oh, wow. They went like 50 million past it.
Yeah, and Incredibles 2 opened at $183.2 million at the domestic box office, which you can see right here towards the middle is brought it to $231.5 million around the world. So, I mean, that's a lot of money for a Pixar movie. I mean, it's just an animated kids movie.
You know what's
I mean, they're making a killing.
You know what is, pun intended, you know what's incredible about this is that, I mean, this movie the first one was made like 14 years ago, and it was like a good, solid movie. Like, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was like the greatest movie of all time by any means, but it was a great movie. You know, I really liked it. And then, 14 years later, here we go. We have a new one. And I don't know if part of it's just the nostalgia of the first one. Like, there was a lot of us who were, 14 years ago were a lot younger, and all of a sudden we're getting a new movie that kind of tied into a lot of people's childhoods, I guess, or even when they were teenagers, and so everybody still got a lot of love for the movie, and I wonder if that's part of why it was so good.
The craziest thing, so when I went to go see it in the theater, just to kind of play on your point, I was looking around to see who was in the theater, because I was just curious to see who's seeing this movie.
Right.
There were a lot of kids, but I did notice there were a lot of teenagers.
Oh, so really?
I think that you are correct in your thing.
Like,
saying, 14 years have gone by, and now they want to see what's going on.
Right.
With this film. But also, too, I think that they, with their waiting for so long, they pulled in a whole new audience.
Oh,
because they're able to go back and watch the original. So, like, my daughter is a perfect example, right? 14 years ago, she wasn't even born.
Right.
So here we are 14 years later, she's 2.5 years old, and I just took her to see Incredibles 2. She loves the Incredibles, the original.
Right,
so.
and then like in 14 years she can see Incredibles 3. And
yeah, exactly.
So I was really surprised, dude, honestly, with how well this movie did. I thought it was going to do good for sure. Like, Incredibles is a good movie. I thought people would go see this one. I had no idea it was going to just smash the box office, and it also it has the second biggest June opening behind only 2015's Jurassic World, and the 8th biggest debut of all time.
Yeah,
that's crazy nuts. That's unreal, dude. I don't even know what to say about that, really. It makes me want to go see it for sure. I'm gonna have to go see it now. Maybe I'll try taking my boys and see if they want to go see it.
It brings up my question again because of that statement: is what happened to Solo?
Oh, sure, yeah.
What happened? If this movie's able to be the 8th highest box office growth of Disney ever, then what happened to Solo?
So it's funny. We've been talking about this all week, and Tyfly's been wanting to talk about more Star Wars stuff, and a tweet from Mark Hamill and all this stuff, and I just keep telling him, I'm like, yeah, beat that dead horse, just because everyone keeps talking about it, and then we looked up this article about The Incredibles, and sure enough, they mention Solo, you know. So it's funny that it's just like a lot of people still are talking about like how poorly this movie did. But I mean, either way, I mean, as far as Disney's concerned, like they're
just as a quick side note.
Yeah.
So I mean, just as a quick thing, I know that we're beating the dead horse, like Tarek just said, but one of the things is when Marvel's able to release 3 movies in 1 year, and nobody is saying that they're fatigued on superhero movies,
right?
But yet they can release Episode 8. And then Solo, and then say that everyone's getting fatigued on Star Wars movies. That is the biggest load of shit I think I've ever heard come out of anybody's mouth, ever. Anybody who says that, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, nobody, if anybody wants to make that argument, it would be towards Marvel. Why? Because they're releasing like 3 or 4 movies every year.
Oh, yeah,
that's
dude.
not Star Wars.
And that's, I mean, like, there is a little bit, I think, like, superhero fatigue, but everybody has spent the last 10 years investing themselves in this Marvel universe. And so when, like, a new movie comes out, like the, you know, Infinity War or whatever, people, like have to go see it because they spent the last 10 years investing in it. And it wasn't like, you know, 50 years ago in the 70s or whatever, however long ago, 40 years ago. And then, like, 10 years went by and, you know, nothing really happened, and then finally they made the prequels, and then like 10 years went by and they made these new ones. Like the Marvel train has just been like consistent for like the last like 10 years, dude. And so like everybody, you know, Marvel's done something very smart. And
my hat's off to Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
that guy hands down knows what he's doing with.
So just out of curiosity, dude, I know you were talking about like a tweet from Mark Hamill. What exactly was the tweet?
It was basically to Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson had posted a tweet about he was on a flight heading to somewhere where it takes like 8 hours or something, and he had made a comment about episode 8 is so much better when you're on an 8-hour flight to like Tokyo or something like that.
Oh, because nobody can leave?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, go down. It's it says Ryan Johnson defends Star Wars scene.
Oh, okay, here we go. Okay.
Oh wait, Mark Hamill regrets doubting. I don't know which one it is now. So crap.
Let's see.
No, I don't think this is it.
No.
That's so crazy. It wouldn't just come up as Mark Hamill. Ryan Johnson.
I tried to find it really quick, but I didn't like actually see it. So, anyways, like, and so was Ryan Johnson like mad or like what happened? I mean,
yeah, basically, Ryan Johnson was saying like, oh, episode 8 is so much better when you're on a.
Oh, here we go. I got it. I pulled it up.
Yeah, here it is. I've decided the optimal viewing experience for The Last Jedi is on a plane 8 hours into an international flight. Here's Mark Hamill's response. Brilliant idea at Ryan Johnson. The perfect way to prevent people from walking out. Hashtag The Last Jedi. Hashtag critic proof.
I love it.
It's awesome.
All right. Hit that heart
Gotta
button.
Go Mark Hamill. God, who doesn't love Mark Hamill?
No, he's actually...
He's amazing.
Yeah, he really is, dude. He, I follow him on, like, social media and stuff like that, and he's always got, like, something funny to say or something witty. And he's not, like, mean about it like other... Like, I don't know. I've seen, like, other celebrities, like... Have you ever seen William Shatner's Twitter feed?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, dude. So yeah, obviously William Shatner's like 90 years old, but like he literally, I think, spends his days like trolling Twitter and just trying to be like funny and witty and like and mean to people kind of, but he ends up coming off as just like a huge jerk most of the time. Like I follow his Twitter feed, dude, and I actually like recently like unfollowed him because I was just like, my god, man, like just stop. Like he was saying something. Oh, I got mad about it because he was saying something about Lucifer, and whatever he said was kind of snarky. Which, by the way, anybody that watches Lucifer, just so you know, it got renewed for Netflix. It got picked back up. Oh my god! Yeah, that. Netflix picked it back up.
It got canceled.
Yeah, dude, it got picked up. This just got announced like 2 days ago. I mean, they haven't really nailed down like when it's coming out or anything like that. But I mean, the cool thing about it being on Netflix is going to be the fact that the whole season's going to be there. You know, like Netflix doesn't do like one episode. So that means I'm going to be able to binge watch an entire season of Lucifer in like one day. So
we'll say thank you. What was it, CBS, for canceling your show?
Yeah, no, honestly, and Netflix
thank you, CBS.
Thank you. Yeah, Netflix is probably going to give them a better budget, and more creative freedoms. So I'm
surprisingly,
excited.
now that they're bringing it to Netflix, I will definitely go back and watch all of Lucifer.
No, you really should, dude. Honestly, like it's so good.